again, this is Ben Hitchcock Cross talking to you today for Deliberate Indifference, Wisconsin. We're going to start a new series of videos on James Lucky. He is a deputy, was a deputy with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department. They terminated him on what we believe are and contest as really retaliatory charges that they filed against him, as we'll see, I think clearly comes out in this series of videos, because he had made race and other discrimination complaints against the county, which they did not follow up on, but they sure as sugar retaliated against Mr. Lucky. So that's why we provide these sources to you. So these are going to be testimony in front of an equal rights judge. This is Judge Ann Molitor, and this is very similar to the Tate hearing, except for Mr. Lucky did not get a probable cause. He was represented by himself at that time, and he did not get a probable cause for discrimination. So this is a what we call an NPC hearing, a no probable cause hearing, not a hearing on the merits. That means that we're just trying to prove that it's 51% or more likely than not, somewhere around that range, that the discrimination or retaliation took place, and not necessarily that we're not trying to get to that point that we need here for the merits hearing for civil judgment. So just keeping that in mind so that everybody's got that context here. Now, what can be said about Mr. Lucky? Well, I think in my time getting to know Mr. Lucky, I think it's fairly clear that he is a curious, intelligent person, that he is going to, if you give him a set of rules, he is going to follow those rules intelligently and curiously. That means that he is going to look out for himself, and he is probably going to come into conflict with the sheriff's department hierarchy that is not used to black men intelligently and curiously following the rules. So they're used to, I believe, a union who goes along and gets along. They're used to workers who go along and get along. And Mr. Lucky, I think is clear, is going to enforce his rights. Right? He's going to ask questions. If they try to put him on light duty, he's going to say, well, I'm on light duty now. I'm not going to take further assignments. He's the kind of guy who's going to say, complain, and then go up the chain of command when that his complaints aren't addressed, when he is being racially discriminated against. And you'll see here, every time he does that, he finds himself with an insubordination charge or something else that's really directly linked to him filing the complaint or the complaint process. So the rules there state that they're supposed to be protecting him, but I think it's very clear that from the management on down that the department is really just retaliating against him. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. We've got some fantastic testimony coming up here. We've got the now sheriff herself, Danita Ball, testifies for about an hour. We've got, I think, the main decision maker here, Molly Zillig, who is the attorney for the sheriff's department. She appears. She's got great difficulty in remembering things. We've got Mr. Novotny, who I believe is a captain. He is in charge of the Professional Standards Division. It used to be called Internal Affairs until they had to change the name, I guess, out of to try to forget their past deeds. Then there's also Mr. Smoot. He is a lieutenant/investigator, and he's got extensive testimony here. So we've got that whole chain of command in terms of the investigation. And then we're going to wrap up with the HR person who took his discrimination complaints from the HR, and then we're going to find out what they did with that, and in fact what they did with the documents related to that. That is going to be pretty smoking hot. So you're going to have to wear some asbestos pants for that one. That's my guess here. So, okay, so that's Mr. Lucky. And again, the real highlight and the focus here, and you're going to see that because Mr. Lucky is in all of the shots, is that Mr. Lucky is actively participating in his claims. He is actively understanding what's going on. He has a mastery of all of the documents and knowledge of both their internal policies and what happened. And I mean, it's very clear, and I just want you to understand when you're watching this, what that Mr. Lucky is not an average person. And I don't say that, just to puff him up. I'm saying that because the issue here is really how the sheriff's department reacts to that. And I think it's pretty clear there, especially with Attorney Zillig, that that's a problem for them. And again, it's the 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 ratio of complaint to charge of insubordination is 1 to 1 here. I think we've got two examples that's coming up. In my mind, it couldn't be clearer. So not everybody is going to fit into the boxes of an employment situation that an employer wants them to fit into in terms of their conception of how employees, how black men should act. So this is, I think, one of those examples. The law is supposed to protect people and supposed to prevent these situations. Certainly the Milwaukee County itself, and especially the Milwaukee County Corporation's office, really touts the fact that it is, sort of inclusive and that they put equity first. I still haven't really quite figured out what equity means in the workplace context, but they certainly put that even on their motto and their emails and everything else. So we still need to keep that in mind. That while it may be sort of a new face of the sheriff's department in that sense, there really is old wine in new bottles here. So this is going to be really great. We're going to start in reverse order because we're waiting on some of the day one testimony yet from the state. So we're going to start with day 2. We're going to move into day 1, and then we'll end up with day 3 with the HR Mary Paul, which is going to be great. All right, well, stay tuned. We'll keep you informed. Thanks for watching.